Okay, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use modifiers in Blender. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin. So as you see, I have this little box here. I must apply transform, so you go Command A to apply them. And let's choose a little spanner called Modifier Properties. If we go Add Modifier, we have I'm going to do almost all of them, and say almost because there are a few I'm going to skip, but I'm going to do almost all of them in the generate section. So let's choose array, and as you see it doubles in length, or in the x-axis. So if we go factor x, let's make that 0. So factor z, I'm going to make 1. The reason why is because 1 is basically the scale of 1. So let's leave it like that, and then on the y-axis I'm also going to make that 1. So as you see here, we have this little staircase. We can increase the count to make it longer. So we also have merge, so when you apply it, it will merge the vertices. However, I'm not going to be doing that. So as you see, if we go in edit mode, it's just this one. And if we edit one, by the way, it will edit them all. Okay, as you see, I have a cube. Make sure it's applied scale, because this really matters that you apply it, or it will look weird. So if we go add modifier, we have the second one, which is bevel. Bevel there. As you see, if we increase the amount here, it will change the bevel amount. We can increase the segments to make it smoother, and if we just turn that off quick, we can do the same thing by going Command B in edit mode, and if we go V, it will choose bevel vertices. We can do the same thing in here if we go vertices and unhide, of course. If we make the amount bigger, as you see, and you can also stop, which is a cool little feature they have. One last thing I want to show you is a profile. So as you see, you can change the profile. It works the best in vertices, but will also work in edges. As you see here, we can puff it out a lot, or we can make it super far in. Okay, so as you see, I have this shape here, which is a square. Let's apply all transforms. We also have another shape here, which is a cylinder, which I'm just going to hide. Let's go to our shape here, and let's go add modifier, and let's choose Boolean. If we choose our little shape here, as you see, it cuts a hole in it. So Boolean difference will basically cut a hole in it. And of course, fast is for more advanced shapes. We can also have union. We'll merge them also. We'll merge them. And we have intersect. We'll do everything they would have generally got rid of. It's kind of like difference, but without this shape. And of course, you can change all of them. We also have solver options here, which has self-intersection, which you can turn on or off, and hole tolerance, result when the holes are slow. So you have the same shape here, but in edit mode I subdivided it quite a bit. Let's just apply all transforms again, and let's add the bold modifier. Basically what that does is first it disappears and looks like we deleted it somehow, but if we press play, the animation, it starts being bold, as you see. You can also reverse it, so it will slowly be destroyed instead. And there's another cool effect if you want more randomize, and you can change the seed. So if we press play now, as you see, it destroys it slowly. Okay. By the way, another cool effect is if you add an animation on the seed, we'll do this interesting effect. As you see here, I have this landscape, and I'm going to be showing you how to use the decimate modifier. So as you see, when we add it, so let's go add decimate, we have collapse. So basically they'll collapse all the vertices or edges. So as you see, it gets simpler and simpler. This is really nice for low poly scenes or something like that. You can also triangulate them, which will basically turn all the faces into triangles. We also have unsubdivide, which we can increase. So as you see, this also has a nice polyfill. And then we have planar, which removes them by the angle, which also has a really cool effect, I think. Okay, so before I start this one, I want to go to edge mode in edit mode, and let's just select the parts and let's go mark sharp. So as you see, it turns blue, and you'll see why in a moment. If we go add modifier and go edge split, as you see, everything except the edges we chose mark sharp are all smooth because I went shade smooth. However, even if we do go shade smooth, it won't affect it. So you can also turn it off so it doesn't affect sharp edges. And they'll also change the subdivision of the angle limits of subdivision. So as you see, if we turn it off, we can change it. The basic, I think, is 30. Yes, it's 30 as far as I know. But of course, you can change it to, on this, 111 or over 100. And so anything over 100, it seems, is quite nice on this landscape here. Okay, as you see, I have a new shape. This was originally a much bigger cube. I cut it up using Command R to cut it in half. So as you see, we have this tiny little piece. And if we add a mirror modifier here, as you see, it's the same thing but mirrored. And we can do that to all axes, and it's back to its original shape. So what's also cool is it completely mirrors on all sides if we do something like this. You don't have to mirror it on all sides, and there's actually one built-in modifier where you actually don't have to even add the modifier. Anyway, basically it will auto add it for you if you click on this button. It's called it's auto mirror, as you see here. There's also another one called Bull Tool, which you can add and it'll show up in edit. So if we go auto, it won't really work right now, but if we just show you here, auto mirror, sorry, no, we need a cube for this. Let's go add cube, auto mirror, and auto mirror. It automatically cuts it up for you. So as you see, if we just turn off clipping of all of them quick, it doesn't seem to visually affect the cube in any way. However, if we just go G, we can move it inside the mesh. However, if we turn on clipping now and move it, we can move it up and down, but we can't move it outside or even move it away from the mesh. If we move it down there, it's stuck now. Sometimes that's a little irritating, however, generally it's a very nice feature. Alright, one little thing I forgot to show you. If you click on this drop down here, we have a few settings. Duplicate, which you can go Shift D, and apply Command A. So to apply it, you'll actually make it proper mesh. And you can't undo it unless you go Command Z. Okay, so right now I show you this useful tool. Basically, it's called Multiresolution. So it's very useful for sculpting and stuff like that. So if I just go subdivide, let's say 3 or 4 times, go sculpting quick, it's a very nice tool for sculpting. It's kind of like subdivision surface, and they can both be used for sculpting. However, multi-resolution has more tools for sculpting and stuff like that. So as you see, it's a nice tool for sculpting. So if we go layout now, wow, cool, interesting thing I made. As you see, I just subdivided this little Suzanne quick. So if we just, what I want to do is show you how to use the Remesh modifier. So if we just add it, yeah, it looks kind of weird. By the way, it's subdivided by 2, just so you know. So it starts at voxel. So if we make voxel size smaller, as you see, you start to see it a little easier. Basically, this makes, basically cleans up your mesh, so it's all nice, squarish, or at least triangle. and it just makes it look better. So there are a few more settings here, about 4 more. We have sharp, as you see here. We won't turn off remove disconnected, just to make sure if anything is disconnected, then it won't delete it. As you see here, we have Suzanne. It's all sharp, and it keeps these sharp edges also. And of course we can increase it or make it tinier. So as you see, and we also have sharpness over here. Yeah, it kind of looks a little weird with Suzanne. We also have smooth. So if we increase that, it has this nice smooth effect. We also want smooth shading. His eyes are a little messed up, but the rest of him actually look quite nice like that. And the last one, blocks, which you want to turn off smooth shading. And this is really nice if you try to do a Minecraft build in Blender or something like that, or Minecraft style build in Blender. So the only sad thing about that is if I just turn on cavity and make it both so you can see it properly. Both. Has an awesome Minecraft effect, by the way, if you do that. However, unfortunately, it's not real. It's not real, really going to look like they're in a render. Anyway, if we look here, as you see, his eyes are a few things of him that are too complicated for it to do are just left, so they're just empty. However, what is cool is if we apply it, they have the squares at the top, and you can go limited dissolve. However, if you are doing a Minecraft, each one of these little blocks could be a texture, showing a texture here, which is a cool effect. Okay, as you see, we have this little plane I made. It's just a normal plane. I just went to add mesh plane and applied the scale, rotation, all the rest. So as you see, it should look something like that. If we go in and hide that, let's go add modifier and choose the solidify. Basically what that does is that adds a thickness to it. So it's pretty cool. You could have, let's say, a thickness of 2 and it look like a cube. And let's just make it a little less. This is nice for making houses, walls, stuff like that. So if we just have this little wall thingamabob over here, we have this little wall. It looks a little weird because some of the edges are thinner than others. So let's actually first just make them flat at the top and bottom. So if we can choose even thickness, and that will make everything even, which is a very useful tool. And also there's only room where it won't fill in these edges, which generally you don't want, but if you want something like that, then that's how you do it. Okay, as you see, we have this boring cube here, and let's say we want all the sides smooth here. So we're going to use the most useful tool and probably the most used modifier in all of Blender, subdivision surface. And voila, it's a cylinder. Of course, we can increase it, make it smoother, and there we go. So let's just actually fill the tops. So if we go Alt and F, as you see, we have this circle here. Basically, what Solidify tries to do is it just tries to bevel it really, really nicely. Basically, it's a very complex bevel, basically. So as you see, if we can choose simple here, we apply it. It has the same amount of faces as it would have done. However, it doesn't change the actual outcome of what it looked like. And we have Catmull clock, which still has the same amount of faces. However, it's nice and smooth and it changes the appearance of the objects. Okay, there's the last modifier of all is wireframe. So if we go add modifier wireframe, as you see, it just basically keeps the edges and solidifies them basically, which you have the same settings as Solidify almost. You can change the offset of it, and if we turn off replace original, as you see, it keeps the normal cube and also keeps the outside, the wireframe effect. And if we go AP by loose parts, which parts it, as you see, there's different and this different. So it's a cool little effect here. And we have this, and this might be good for sci-fi buildings or the metal parts that you can use in giant buildings if you're doing a demolition animation, or maybe a building being destroyed by something. Okay, if we turn show overlays, kaboom! I had a little explosion effect there, and of course the scaffolding quick. Just wait, it's actually cool. I just figured it out. If the way you want it, if we just remove this quick, remove the explode, it's a 10 object quick effects, quick explode. Just remove the particle. Let's move it to 10. Let's go object, quick effects, quick explode, and then this. Let's move that a little later. Maybe 30 or so. Object, quick effects, quick explode, and there we go. Of course, we probably want to apply the wireframe modifier. We press play. So there's this interesting destruction effects. If you enjoyed my video, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Bye!